So we are en route to getting some news on the next Halo game. Am I excited? No, not really. Because we have been on this road many a times before, and we have been disappointed many a times before. Listen, with whatever Halo Studios is cooking up, and yeah, sorry, you're not fooling me. I know that's you, 343. You can slap a new name onto your title, but it's still the same. I know you're the same people. You're the same outfit, basically. I mean, it doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter if you're going to change your name. You change your freaking employees every goddamn year anyway, so what difference does it really make? But like everyone else, I'm going to see what it is, obviously. I'm a Halo fan, so I'm going to go see what it is, and like anything else when it comes to the Halo community, it always comes down to the people that debate on and off about whether or not this time it'll be good. This time it'll work out. And it also comes down to the long, heated debate of sprint in Halo, which is something that has been a discussion for a long time, ever since Sprint was introduced as a mechanic in Halo Reach. And I gotta ask, who fucking gives a shit, dude? Who gives a shit about Sprint, or if whether or not it's in it or not? Because it's not even really the biggest problem. And this is coming from someone who's never been a fan of Sprint. And I actually do like Halo Reach. But you want to know something that I always get so confused about when it comes down to Sprint and Halo Reach? What a lot of people always fail to mention is that Sprint and Halo Reach is one of many armor abilities. Sprint is one that you can choose from stuff like Armor Lock, Evade. Elites had Evade mostly. You had Drop Shield, you had so many other things, Hologram. It was one of many that was basically it was Halo Reach's version of equipment. And I don't understand why people don't bring that up when they bring up Halo Reach. On both sides, like the people that are for and against Sprint, they never bring it up. And one thing that I always agree on, that I will always agree on, is when people talk about Halo Reach, is that Halo Reach was an isolated version of Halo that Bungie wanted to have as their swan song. They were a little bit more experimental. They're like, hey, let's try some new stuff for our last entry. And I think it worked out pretty well. The thing is that Halo 4 was very clearly built up on what Halo Reach started. For better and worse, mostly for worse, in my opinion. In my opinion, the campaign was not good, the gameplay was subpar, and the multiplayer was not as fun. And well, not to plug too much, but I am working on a new Halo 4 video, so get ready for that. But another problem that I have is that I would at the very least be a little bit excited if it was a new Halo game. If we actually were getting something new for the Halo series, I would actually be happy. If we were actually getting that long-awaited DLC that was promised all the way back in Infinite, right? We were supposed to get new single-player DLC. That still has not come out, and it's probably not even going to come out. So, but like, we're not getting that. We're not getting anything new. We're getting a remake. A remake of Halo CE. CE. A remake of Halo CE of all things. And I can't understand why. To me, it just kind of screams of desperation. And listen, I've always been a guy that has defended remakes. I've defended a lot of remakes because a lot of them come out pretty good. Capcom has a really good pattern when it comes to their remakes because they make their remakes really good. But I don't know, to me CE is the type of game that you just can't remake. Listen, I will complain about the library, I will complain about the copy and paste level design. That has not aged well. But the moment-to-moment gameplay of Halo CE has aged remarkably well because it was the benchmark for what first-person shooters would become, both on console and on PC going forward. That is the inspiration, that is the template, man. And to just go back and be like, oh, let's just remake it. Because, like, listen. I hate Halo 4. I don't like Halo 5 Guardians. And I've only played the multiplayer of Halo Infinite. And out of all of those three games, Infinite is definitely the one I like the most. But that's really not saying a lot. But you gotta think, because, listen, at the very least, with those games and with those things, those were 343 basically saying, hey, let's make something new that's our version of Halo. And at that point, I can just be like, whatever, man. I can just disregard those games, go play the Bungie games, that type of thing. And, like, at the very least, they're doing something that's theirs. And they have their own art style, their own gameplay. They can do whatever the hell they want. I don't give a shit. I don't agree with it. I don't like it. I don't have to fucking play it. Alright? But now they're going back to CE and remaking CE. Now that's where you're going to get some problems. Because this is a remarkable game that has come out back almost 20 years ago now. Over 20 years ago now. And it's a very hard game to look at and just say, yeah, let's remake that. Just like that. Just like that, huh? Okay, so you already kind of did that and with the Anniversary Edition, and the graphics suck. But you know what? Much like the Halo 5 and 4, I don't have to look at that shit if I don't want to. I can just switch back to the OG graphics and enjoy a nice normal game of CE. But now with the remake... Listen, if you're going to introduce all these mechanics, these groundbreaking mechanics that were introduced back in 2001, you're going to have to bring your fucking A game. And if you're going to add, like, a bunch of features that weren't in the original, then listen, man. Like, I personally fear, like, this isn't going to be a Resident Evil 4 situation. I fear that this is going to be a GoldenEye Reloaded situation, where instead of honoring the memory of GoldenEye and what that stood for, they're going to make it into a half-assed Call of Duty. And that's just my personal thing. Listen, and when it comes to the Halo community, is that there's always a lot of revisionism that happens. This has been happening for a while. Like, Halo revisionism is nothing new. This has been going on since Halo 3. But now we are at a point where the Halo community will constantly be fighting about how the previous games in the Bungie era weren't as good, and people gassed them up way more because of nostalgia and all that shit. And right now, they're saying that about Halo 3. Listen, Halo 3 has its issue with the story and the narrative, but if you are saying that the gameplay in Halo 3 was bad and wasn't all that's cracked up to be and wasn't worth the hype, you are blatantly wrong. You are wrong. That was the biggest game in 2007, and it led to some of the biggest resurgence of gaming ever. You cannot dispute that, because people want to go back and say that it wasn't as good and it was a downfall for the series. That is bullshit, dude. That is total bullshit. You cannot lie to yourself, and you cannot lie to this community. And you are taking shots like that constantly, and that's what's going to rile these people up. You're going to rile these people up so much so that of course they're going to come after you. Of course they're going to shit on Sprint. Of course they're going to shit on the 343 games. Of course they're going to do that. Listen, I give them credit for where credit is due when it comes to Halo Infinite. I think Halo Infinite was a perfectly fun game. It's too bad that it was too little too late when it comes to the progression of the multiplayer. And they also stretch it out to be a open world game. So I'm not excited for it. To be honest, I've been burned way too many times. 3 times is strike fucking 3. So all I'm going to say for all of you guys that are Halo fans out there, listen, it's fine to be excited for the next game, whether it's the CE remake or whatever the fuck 343 disguising themselves as Halo Studios is. Whatever, okay? The game's going to come out. People are going to play it. Let's see if it can live longer than 3 months, like Infinite, right? So that's just my 2 cents, man. I just want to go ahead and get that out there. So, whatever. Hope you guys are having a good one. Finish the fight. I'll see you guys later.